Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today, I told you it wouldn't be long. I didn't think it'd be this short within somebody doing something monumentally fucking stupid. But today, my favourite person in the whole world, Steve Shives, is on his You Had to Ask, his most recent one, which I'll leave a link in the description. There'll be a lot of links in this description because there'll be a lot of videos that I'm going to go through for this one. Now, I said in my last video that I was not wanting to wade in on the Sargon and Anita VidCon fiasco. However, in Bearing's video about Anita Sarkeesian, it was one of his, I've got it linked in the description, watch it, really funny. In that, there was a soundbite from my favourite retard, Steve Shives, about the whole thing, and I was really curious to see what this was about, right, exactly what he had to say about the whole thing. So I found it. As I said, the link's in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. He makes mention throughout the thing about lots of different harassments and shit like that, but I want to focus specifically on this question. So without further ado, I'm going to play you the question, so let's dive right in and you'll understand what I'm going to go on about soon.
JD, so I admit I'm not that up on the whole Gamergate thing. From what I understand, Anita made an initial blog about the representation of females in video games, and she got a virtual lynching off the basement-dwelling virgin club. Is this true? And it basically spiraled out of control from there. Then, after years of harassment, she used a public forum to call one of them a garbage human, and suddenly these people who spent years harassing her are having a cry about it? Personally, I say fuck them, they're arseholes and they deserve it, but if it brings the harassment by these people into mainstream media, then that's even better. Hopefully they'll realize that real popular opinion outside of their little safe space is actually against them. What do you think? You've basically got it. The harassment of Anita Sarkeesian was not what started Gamergate, that was the harassment of another woman. But yeah, in terms of how the anti-Anita stuff started, you've basically got it. She critiqued video games from a feminist perspective and was just absolutely mobbed and declared the worst person in the world.
Yes, Steve, she was.
And yeah, what happened at VidCon was one of the ringleaders of harassment of her and harassment of many other people showed up in person to intimidate her by making sure that he sat in the front row of one of her panels along with a bunch of his like-minded friends. It was purely an act of stalking and harassment and personal intimidation.
Hey retard! Yeah, you retard!
Yeah, no it fucking wasn't, Steve. No it wasn't. Okay, they just showed up, right? And his acting, here's the fucking thing with you've just basically lied for Anita Sarkeesian right there. And you're lying about the way what happened, right? So let's listen to what else you have to say, you lying dickface.
And lied about and misrepresented and harassed and threatened and basically just treated like shit for daring to have an opinion about video games that this group of mostly young men disagreed with.
Well, that's bollocks, right? It wasn't they disagreed with it. The fact is, in another video that was by an actual feminist gamer, she actually said it. I'll find the video and I'll link that in the description as well. Now, she said the reason why Anita gets so much hate is because she picked on characters who got these, at the time, they would be teenagers, through a really difficult time of their life, and the hate that she received is the howls of anguish from them. Because she's destroying the basics. They're the only thing that kept them sane throughout their probably quite rough teenage years, and you are insulting the fact that she ripped apart things. Because in one of her videos, which I'm probably getting, everything's racist, everything's sexist, everything's homophobic, and you have to point it out. Those are words from Anita Sarkeesian. No, it's not. She's fucking lying. It's not like that. She's just a fucking agendaed woman. And when you'll see this in the video. I've got Computing Forever's video down there. He was the first one. And I tell you what, Steve, we're going to go look at that one right now.
If you Google my name on YouTube, you get shitheads like this dude who are making these dumbass videos that just say the same shit over and over again. I keep paying you attention because you're garbage human. Whatever, dude. But it's, you know, like the fact that these dudes are making endless videos that just go after every feminist over and over and over again, I think is a part of the issue of why we have to have these conversations. conversations. We don't just get to be online.
Right, so as you can see there, that was exactly... I just stopped that there before Dave continues on. As you can see, Anita singled out Sargon, and his reply, which is very clear, you can go back and watch the initial video. If my sound isn't great enough, by all means check that, right? But go and look in the link in the description, and you will see that you'll see the full context of that video. Well, there's the first point, Steve, where she wasn't harassed by anyone. She actually picked on him. Right, so there's that one there, right? So, Steve, not only did you just basically barefaced fucking lie about that, right, but you defend someone who's an actual bully. Right, so our next little video is going to be a nice one. I'm just going to let you watch it, okay? So I'll just bring it up and I'll watch it.
Hey guys, this is going to be very different than my normal videos. Normally when I get home from VidCon, I just edit all the cool footage that I had and just make a very positive video. This video is not going to be as positive, but I really feel like I need to make it because there's some rumors floating around, and I've seen those rumors. I've seen a 4chan thread about it today, and I want to make sure that I get out ahead of those rumors and make sure that I control this message before you hear about it from somebody else. If this doesn't come across like one of my normal videos, it's because I'm very, very anxious. I'm very anxious after what happened. I've been anxious about what happened 3 months before it happened. I've been anxious ever since. So it's going to be a very hard video to make, but I do think it's important. I've gone to VidCon for 4 years in a row, and I've done panels and signings, and I've met a bunch of different people, and it's one of the best experiences of my life. This year's VidCon was a little bit different because I went into it very, very nervous. I was a little bit of social anxiety, and that social anxiety got worse because some altercations were happening between the crowds and security, so that made me very nervous. But what made me more nervous is one of my panels ending cyberbullying, and then one of my fellow panelists. I always do one of these cyberbullying panels each time if they ask me because I think I have some really good stories. You know, I don't get upset about the jokes. I don't get upset about the memes. I don't get upset about the critical comments, critical videos people make about me. What I do get upset about, and what I do consider to be cyberbullying, is things like death threats, or getting doxxed, or having your information leaked, or getting your stuff hacked and deleted, like happened to me at VidCon last year, or the time people sent a box of shit to my front door, or even the time where someone legitimately tried to hire an assassin on the Tor network to assassinate me. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, and I think it's important to go to these cyberbullying panels and let people know that that's what I've endured, and that they could have it as bad as well, and then help them find the tools to how to defeat and defend themselves from that kind of thing. And doing a panel like that, I've done hundreds of panels now at this point, and I'm very comfortable doing it, and I'm comfortable talking about the topic. But what made me nervous about this is when I discovered that one of my panelists was a notable feminist by the name of Anita Sarkeesian. And I was just afraid that we would clash there. I was afraid that I would do something or say something that would upset her. We philosophically disagree in some small areas, but in general we have some of the same ideas, and I think we want some of the same goals. So I thought it would be okay. I didn't want to cancel the panel or anything like that, but I certainly didn't want to step on her toes or upset her in any way.
Right, I'm going to stop out there. Now, Boogie, all Boogie did was say 1 5-minute thing at the end of his speech, right? Now, I'm going to play you what he said, and then I'm going to play what Anita said to him after this, okay?
We only have about 5 minutes left. I just want to ask if we have any final thoughts before we close up.
I got a doozy right here. Oh, okay. Well, I practiced this one for weeks, okay. I think sometimes because we do talk about certain subsets of people, specifically people without knowledge, some people can get the misconception that only those groups are targeted. And I say this as the only male on this panel. I say this as a white, cis male person who's in a place of privilege, that I understand that some communities have it worse, but I have trouble really understanding that because the depths of what we've gone through. And I mentioned earlier, a few years back, we had somebody put out a hit on my life on the Tor network for $3,500, and then they sent me the link, and then they delivered a pizza to my house to let them know that we were there. The absurd thing was they had the address wrong. They had my friend's address because a friend had left a box in my house, and that box had a label, and that label appeared in the video. So I had to call my friend and say, Jason, get out of your house, they're going to kill you. I said, what are you talking about? I sent him a screen cap of the hit, and then the doorbell rings and it's Domino's. And he said, oh, we don't want any pizza, please. We've had boxes of feces delivered to our homes. We've had threats on my life, my family. We have been made to feel very, very uncomfortable. And I don't say this to dismiss anyone else's pain or to say that I have it or because I genuinely don't believe that I do. I just want to say that if it can happen to me and I'm coming from a place of privilege, I think this can happen to anyone. It can happen to any of you who choose to create tomorrow. And I think when we get that misconception, I think that we have naysayers. Well, it's not worse for women, it's not worse for people of color. I think when we focus in on the human rights issue, not a woman's issue, not a man's issue, not a gay or straight issue, or a fat person or skinny person's issue, but it's a human rights issue that affects us all, at least in some way. I feel we can unite these subsets and these groups and these different people, and I think we can fight it together. And when we do that, I think that's how we actually could potentially end cyberbullying. But we have to end, I think, this law between each group before we can do that, and that's, I don't know.
Right, that was Boogie 2988. I personally agree with what he said there. I do. And I don't see anything wrong with it. However, the fucking thunder cunt sitting next to him obviously had an issue with it. Right? So what we'll do, we're going to go back to Boogie's video and let's hear what he had to say about his meeting with Anita.
I felt like it went well, and when I get off of the stage at the bottom of the panels, there's Anita, and she seemed to be very, very upset. And I don't remember exactly what she said, I'm paraphrasing here, but she said in a very upset that I think it was very fucking uncool that you said what you said there at the end, knowing that no one else would have enough time to respond. And I bet you can imagine how that affected my anxiety, because the exact focal point of my anxiety for the entire weekend, in fact for the last 6 weeks, the nightmare scenario that I was terrified of actually had come true. I had upset somebody who I very, very much had tried to not upset and did not want to upset.
Right. Now, what Anita did to Boogie was uncalled for. A man with social anxiety who is the nicest man you could ever fucking meet, right, who ever want to meet, has been verbally abused and bullied by a feminist. Now, how is that not uncommon? It's not unnormal, right? So, Steve, I ask you this question, Mr. Shives. How fucking dare you white knight for Anita Sarkeesian when she is the most despicable excuse for a human being that ever existed? She's only in it for the money. When that young man at the very first panel where Sargon was insulted by Anita asked the question, do you really believe the things you've said online? She did not answer that. She's like, oh right dude, whatever, yeah, beat it, right. That is not an answer. Right? Anita doesn't believe what she says. She's only in it for the money, and she's only in it for the power, and she's only in it to bully and intimidate like people like Boogie. Now Boogie's an amazing guy. I've been a subscriber to Boogie for a while now. As I said, I don't agree with like 70% of what he says, but I would never ever insult the man. He's willing to talk, he's willing to hear your side of the story, he's willing to put in an educated answer along with everything, and he's willing to take on board your points of view. How fucking dare you, Steve, defend someone who's willing to abuse the nicest guy in the fucking world? Steve, you and Anita have something in common. You're both lying ratbags, and you both need to be put in your place. And if, I swear to God, if Anita said something like that to me coming off a panel, I would have told her where to fucking go. Steve Shives, you're a dickhead. You white knight for fucking people who don't deserve it. And you are just an all-round fucking wanker. How dare you pick on Boogie? How dare you? How fucking dare you? How dare you defend Anita for picking on Boogie? How dare you defend Anita for saying what she said to Sargon? And how dare you, and I know you will eventually, and if you watch the rest of Steve's video you'll understand what I mean, how dare you and that fucking prick Kevin Logan defend Anita and defend Hank Green for being retarded? You're just fucking retarded. Right, and here's the fucking thing with you. You've just basically lied for Anita Sarkeesian right there, because he is not one of the harassers. And Patreon themselves look through Sargon's content, right? And I will show you that too, right? They don't have a problem with it either. Steve, you're a liar. You're a fiend. You are completely and utterly oblivious to actual facts, and you are quite willing to defend a bully. You are just as deplorable as she is, and to be quite honest, the world would be a better place if you weren't allowed to speak in it. Or that fucking cunt, Sarkeesian. And now I'm done with you. Right, that's enough of that fucking retard anyway. So, thank you very much for watching. To my subscribers, thank you very much for subscribing. To anybody who's considering subscribing, you really should. You really should. You just should. Please remember to like this video, leave a comment if you desire, and always, always, always subscribe before you leave. As always, my name is Alexander Kingsfallen, and I will catch you in the next one.